They're all very Latin.
There's the Draven ban. No shock at all, man. Yeah.
Pretty funny. Pretty funny stuff, but nobody wants any Draven funny business anymore after the massacre that Black T just put on. I don't know, do you put on a massacre? Instigate a massacre?
Putting on a massacre sounds like it's some sort of like tea party that you've been planning with your friends. I say, let's put on a massacre today. Good fun. No, I'd say maybe
commit a massacre. There you go. Katarina being banned against Albingo, so we just talked about that. Unfortunately, not going to see any special pocket picks here. Capable of massacring their opponents. Of course, Draven and Katarina, both champions that if they get rolling, it's extremely difficult to stop. And Lulu,
Lulu ban,
taken out as well. So Albingo's shown some Yasuo play as well here today, but that champion now on the board. Both Nexus and Albingo have preferred that Yasuo pick, and they picked it early last time. So Midas Fio, no, they're going to take the Zed perhaps that was banned against them last game.
Wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't recommend a Blitzcrank. They're just going to go through every champion there is, you know? I mean, since Cloud Templar is not here, they're not going to, go through all that. And will it be that first pick Yasuo? Maybe. We'll see. A lot of thought being put into
it's either going to be Yasuo or Zed, I think we can.
Or Anivia.
So they're very confident in taking this mid lane pick early. We've seen, Yasuo, he can have some trouble in certain matchups. I mean, we did see how well obviously the Karthus pick does against him, but if Albingo just doesn't know how to play Karthus at a competitive level, then he may be reluctant to try that exhaust Karthus counter that's been working so well. And there we go again. Midas Fio with the second game in a row, first pick Yasuo.
Yeah, so will we see the Karthus counter? That's the question.
There are a couple ways you could go with this, but I really think that Karthus has just proved so strong, and instead they're going to take the Evelynn and the Thresh early on. Kha'Zix still up as well. Now, are they going to want to go with the jungle Kha'Zix just for the maximum early game dueling pressure, or do they want a little bit more synergy in their mid lane with a Vi? They've got a few options right now.
That's a good point.
I say take the Vi right now, but if Sun really, really wants to go with that Kha'Zix early and go for an invade. And there's Renekton. That Kha'Zix-Renekton combo is such a strong jungle top combo if you want to get that Renekton fed, and he's just so capable. The dive pressure that combo kind of provides as well for your team is huge. It's going to be really difficult for them to find a duo lane with as much kill potential or equal kind of damage in a 2v2, even with this Evelynn already out. There's the Gragas pickup.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not the greatest pickup, just because the wind wall will cause a lot of problems for the barrel roll early on. And also, you have to get up close, which is where Yasuo really excels with weaving out of the minion wave.
Yeah. You think about large stomach versus giant sword. I'm going to go with sword.
Just gets sliced open right there. Just gets gutted.
Dude, that got dark
Disemboweled,
really fast, man.
That's what Yasuo does to Gragas.
Gragas has got a lot of padding, though. You need to cut pretty deep, I think.
I think it's a long, sharp sword. The disemboweling can happen, Noah.
True. The disemboweling can happen. Monty 2014.
So Shyvana going to be the pickup, looking for the late game right here. They've got high amount of AoE damage, and if they can survive till late, they should be in good shape. Still waiting to see what exactly that dual lane is going to be with Thresh.
Oh, man.
Vayne Alistar is usually a dual lane combo that's used to counter Leona.
That's right, but we saw the Draven mechanics from Black T. I can only imagine the Vayne. And are we going to see the first Jinx ever?
I mean, if Lochte likes high snowball champions, Jinx is going to be the way to go.
Say,
but there we go, Lucian locked in instead. Sad
I'm so disappointed, yeah. Bummer. So I was going to get excited about that Jinx pick.
So we're still waiting for that first Korean Jinx pick.
Yeah, in Champions anyway. I think she's made an appearance in NLB, right? I think like once.
I have not seen her in NLB, but that does not mean she was not picked because I did not see all the games.
I could totally be wrong too, so don't quote me on that.
So Alistar coming in as well. Usually, like I said, usually Alistair thought of as more of a counter pick to Leona, but in this case, they want the Alistair for the synergy with Yasuo because they want some sort of other setup for Last Breath here coming in, and that'll give them some pretty fierce Yasuo roams down in that bot lane. It's going to cause some mind games a little later on. Sivir, a safe pickup here. You don't really want to pick Sivir into Caitlyn if you can avoid it, just because the range difference is pretty huge. Sivir with 500 range, and Caitlyn with 650, so pretty big difference right there. Makes it difficult to survive the poke out of that laning phase.
Well, they'll lock it in, so Sivir for OQ.
Yeah, great engage. Of course, that Sivir-Shyvana combo extremely strong, and you know, if you pop that Sivir ult and then get a good Gragas ultimate off too, you just get such a huge advantage because you're able to clean up the front line so quickly with that and then immediately transition into killing their carries.
That's right. Well, the teams have been selected. The moment of truth is at hand for Midas Fio and Zenic Storm. One game to decide who moves on to Champions Spring and who falls to that wild card group. It's a big deal.
Yeah, Midas really going for some hard early game pressure here again. Yasuo should be able to give Gragas some decent harassment early on. And we'll see. Alfingo may try and level E first, actually, to punish Yasuo if he tries to go too hard early. I'm going to be interested to see what exactly his first skill is in this matchup. Otherwise, though, you look at Zenic Storm, and they will outscale eventually.
At some point, but will we get there? This is another one of those games that could really go either way. Midas Fio's been looking strong, but so is Zenic Storm.
Yeah, it's not. We haven't really seen enough of either of these teams so far. Zenic Storm and Midas Fio both lost pretty decisively to SK Telecom T1S. So now it's kind of a battle to see who can take the last spot in Champions, and by kind of, I mean definitely.
Definitely. Midas Fio versus Zenic Storm. Let's get in the game. And here we are. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. I don't think Yasuo has a problem where he's like turning in place and accidentally hits somebody with a sword. Maybe
yeah, probably.
Not so accidentally.
Maybe not so accidentally. He just hits him.
Just does it, you know.
Spites. I mean,
light tap.
He's on a path.
Let him know he's there.
You know the lore better than I do. Isn't it? Yasuo supposed to be on some sort of like, some sort of exile. I don't even know.
I'm usually pretty good at reading the lore, but I have not really dived into Yasuo's lore yet. So I know it seems like he's a dude that's kind of out for revenge, kind of a samurai western type character, you know.
He's a lone wolf with his little pipe right there. I mean, we can probably let's see how much of Yasuo's lore we can guess just based on his appearance.
Well, he's a smoker. You know that.
And
he's got one big shoulder.
He just wants to be by himself, playing his little pan pipes.
That's right.
How world weary. Yeah, he just wants to drink him some wine.
Yep. The moment he was born, he starts dying. So he might as well have a good time.
That's right. He is basically just a cake song.
That's right. It took me a while, but I'm a little bit slower in the draw.
It's okay.
Hopefully, Yasuo is not for Nexus' sake. And for Nexus' sake.
I like it. So how if you kill him and then kill his Nexus, you get like a Nexus double kill.
That's true, you can. Nexus is Nexus. Which was the name of my techno band in high school.
Nexus is Nexus?
Yeah.
Very Latin. Did you sing in Latin?
Well, wouldn't it be Nexi?
Nexi? It doesn't actually have to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Nexuses, I think that's correct English as well.
Nexuses. Nexum.
It's not correct Latin, but it is correct English.
Okay. Well, correct English is basically incorrect to every other language ever, so that's fine.
All right, so leash provided, so we will see a little bit of early pressure here from Zach. Wow, Anna.
He's walking right in there. All right.
Feisty.
Better. He's like, I can skip leg day anytime I want.
With the sustain they have in this lane, he should be all right. Even though he did get the ancient coin first, so he's not as tanky. Sun actually, well, this is an early
nice
gank.
Two-man pulverize. Anna may look like he's in trouble. There's the exhaust on to OQ. Skill shot miss. Sun coming in. They really want to get the AD carry, but they'll settle for Ink as well. Nice flake, good flash. There's a flash as well. Can they finish him off? Lacti comes through, and there it is. First blood for Lacti. I've never heard you say yes, enjoy when somebody got a kill.
Well, I was just really impressed that that gank actually worked right there.
I'm going to start a Reddit thread. You know, Monty's an okay caster, but the bias is just...
The bias for Midas Fio, too much.
Monty's not very professional.
Well, what can you do?
Get off the Korean hype train.
There's so much Korean in this game.
Almost 100%. Well, it is 100%. Except for us. We just live here.
So, wow, I mean, that was really interesting.
Nexus. Needs to be a little bit careful. There's the Ignite, and Evelyn coming down as well, too. Alvingo. Didn't quite get it. Bazinga.
That's the danger of level 2 ganking right there, though, is that if you show your jungler that early, and if the jungler gets that low, there is counterplay available, like we just saw. And getting a flash out of the mid lane, nicely done by Zenic Storm and Alvingo right there.
Yeah.
Just to provide that pressure, because they knew that the Kha'Zix was going to be doing his second buff and wasn't in the best of shape to gank himself, considering that Kha'Zix had to use his flash right there.
Alvingo. If I ever had to play like a Hodor type character, my word would be Alvingo.
It's a great word. It really is a good handle.
Yeah, I mean, 3 syllables, you can do a lot tonally with a 3-syllable word. You can express a lot of emotion, you know? Alvingo, or Alvingo, or Alvingo?
Alvingo!
Alvingo.
I like the excited version the best.
So, it really is the best, Alvingo.
So a lot of summoners blown right here, which is why we're seeing Vin turn down early on. This lane is relatively vulnerable, especially if they land a fresh hook right now.
Yeah.
Evelyn has quite a bit of kill potential. Not going to show up.
No, she is in the jungle, killing some wolves. Nexus getting poked pretty hard by those barrels, which doesn't make any sense at all. Poked by a barrel, it's a big round object.
He'll get bludgeoned by a barrel.
Bludgeoned, he's getting bludgeoned pretty hard by that barrel. I like that. That's a better way to describe it. So meanwhile, a bit of a stalemate in the bot lane, but slowly pushing up towards Zenic Storm's favor.
Yeah, the lack of summoners right now, they know that that Sivir Flash is still up as well, so they're playing very reluctantly, just getting zoned out pretty easily by this Thresh Hook. And now the pressure coming in from Zenic Storm, you know, this is what you want to do with Sivir early on. This is her power, is in her wave clear.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that she can,
you
know, in this brave new 4.1.
Whoa. Man, pulverize. A lot of action going on this bot lane. There's exhaust on OQ again. This looks familiar, but this time no junglers to be seen. It's just strictly 2v2. A little bit of Lantern for a shield, and Anna and Lacti are going to back off.
Xenics actually didn't have to back off right there. In fact, they probably could have gotten the better end of that trade, given that the exhaust had just come up on Ink as well. And so by pulling them out of the lane like that, they could have gone a little harder. There was literally no mana left onto Lacti, so I think that was a bit of overly passive play coming in right there. But they could have been scared of another Kha'Zix gank. They don't have very many wards on that bottom side.
Intimidated. So. Oh, Vin walking into the brush. Sun's going to jump on him right away. A little bit of bonus with the Taster of Fear, but Vin getting low. And there's a dive. Can Vin get finished off? He can with the Ignite. And expect. Dives to the turret for fun. Meanwhile, a bit of action in the mid lane.
Well, he can't really knock Yasuo into the tower if you're standing on the other side, because he'll just go ahead and dash right out of it. But
Anna in big trouble here, uses that heal. Has to be careful. I don't know if they can pull anything out of that one. No, that was just an overextension by Lacti and Anna.
Yeah, with no mana, this is the problem that we were talking about.
There's a barrier.
Yeah, they don't have to pursue it though, so Zenic Storm taking the more prudent path. This is what you want to do. Get that fast tower with Sivir while you can. Nexus still providing a lot of forward pressure onto the turret right here. Vin will be forced to clean that one up when they see him. Bottom lane will feel a lot safer. No, they actually never see Evelyn right there, I don't think.
little bit of damage onto that top lane. Meanwhile, OQ and Ink decide to go back and buy. They know that it's time. I mean, Lacti coming back to lane with a Phage. So OQ says, all right, I'm going to buy a BF sword.
This is, I mean, right there, we do see Ink still with the...
Oh, really early dragon
They're
here.
going to see this, but they actually
they
can't
are.
stop it due to the recalls coming out from Zenic Storm. So
Yeah.
this is a good dragon timing. They found a little bit of a window where they're perfectly safe to do it, just because Zenic Storm wasn't careful enough about staggering their recalls right there. So with both mid and the duo lane out,
Looking crazy. Vin
that's a
coming in.
freebie.
They do get the dragon, and Anna having to flash out of that descent. It'll be okay though.
Again, though, Zenic Storm, they've got the BF sword in this bottom lane, and they've got the Doran's shield as well, whereas we see Anna really rushing for that talisman, which is going to be so much less tanky, and they don't want to get in. Zenic Storm could really be much more aggressive than they're playing right now. They need to get some wards down. Ideally, in this situation, they need to call for Vin, because he has to be purchasing more wards to help out. There we go. There's going to be a ward and Pride Rush. And so finally they should be able to feel a little bit more comfortable about this Kha'Zix. But Vin needs to put down wards in his bot lane so they can play and really start denying creeps here, or just press the tower really hard. We want to get that bot lane tower down. Part of the power of Sivir in 4.1 is the fact that in a duo lane she can just get so much tower damage early on, and the tower and bot is just much more vulnerable.
Oh, actually in a bit of trouble, gets low. There it is. A kill for them, and there's the Flav, there's the box, and Anna in trouble now. He's just kind of hanging out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Alvingo manages to get a kill. Vin makes it. Double kill. No, he doesn't. Sun comes in. Double kill for OQ down in the bot lane. Meanwhile, action all over the map.
Yeah, right there, that was a really good level 6 all-in from Zenic Storm, because Alistar got caught in the box right there, and he didn't have Unbreakable Will yet. He was still only level 5, so he couldn't actually just break the CC with his ult and get out of there. So he kind of just had to stand there and hope that Zenic Storm's dual lane took a few tower hits while he stood on the edge of the box. Didn't work out for him clearly, ultimately. But Zenic Storm playing this lane really nicely right now. As soon as he got that ward up, that was the security blanket they needed in order to finally kind of press that advantage even further. And Sivir should be nearly done with their bloodthirst. Take a look at this right there. Lacti already low from the poke, and even the exhaust not enough to save him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Alvingo knocks Nexus out. He's waiting there again, and
oh, nice move by Nexus to claim that kill.
Yeah, very nice.
Made something out of it. Nearly got the double. Got the assists anyway.
Yeah, his team got the 2 kills, however, so
not bad.
Definitely we see that advantage from Midas, but Tiamat not doing very much to Ren up here already. Honestly, in the top lane, this Renekton hasn't been able to get as big of an edge as expected.
Oh man, Vin is right there. Kha'Zix coming down though. Somebody there as well. Anna maybe in a little bit of trouble. Pushing back Ink. Here comes Sun from behind. Can't get anything out of it. A kill already for Zenic Storm. Sun exhausted, in trouble here. OQ dives into the brush to avoid vision, but here comes Nexus. They're going to back off. Yeah.
Good disengage right there. They tried to take advantage of the fact that, they had just had Lucian kind of get up to that level 6, but still no level 6 on Alistar, but they couldn't take advantage of the fact that the ultimates from the dual lane of Zenic Storm were down. And considering that Bloodthirster has been completed awfully early based on the 4 kills that Sivir has been managing, Sivir has managed, tripping over my words now, Doa, to pick up.
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
Yep.
Really early Bloodthirster. Now the decision for Zenic Storm. Do they continue this laning phase and try and catch up based on just the sheer dominance of the bottom lane here? Even though Midas has been able to pick up kills in other lanes, and they did get that early dragon. I say right now, you don't farm the champions, you just go for that tower and try and rotate and spread the advantage that Sivir has managed to get into other lanes for some faster towers.
Makes a lot of sense. Zenic Storm almost evening up the gold, but looking pretty good. OQ definitely starting to get very scary.
Spirit of the Elder Lizard onto Evelynn right now. I think this is just a better build now that Ravage is a physical, or Hate Spike rather, is a physical ability.
Hate Spike. It's our
Hate
band.
Spike. It is our band.
Yep.
What are OQ and Ink doing? Are you looking for yet another all-in?
Oh, geez. Speaking of all-ins in the mid lane, Alvingo in a little bit of trouble. There's the explosive cast, a little bit of damage on the Nexus included with that turret, but they're going to give the kill over to Sun. Alvingo. Whoa. Top lane. Ren having to use that ultimate. Ultimate used by Expect as well. Winning that trade. There's the box. They're going to trap Ana in there right now. And he just has to hang out. He can walk away. Sun is there. They need to be very careful. Here comes Finn, though. The culling is active. There we go. The headbutt pulverized. Sun comes in to try to get those resets. They kill Ana. They kill Sun. And they may be able to get back to you as well. I think they will. We'll see. Can he get another charge? Dodges the boomerang, but it doesn't matter. Double kill for OQ. And just nothing going Midas Fio's way right now.
Well, they are getting the objectives. They did get the gank in mid lane.
That's true.
And now they actually made a pretty bad play right there pre-Dragon.
Yeah.
But they couldn't really push it out, and they should have waited to know where Vin was. I suppose they didn't really have that luxury just because the wave clear would constantly keep the pressure on the bot turret. And unless they could force the duo lane out of lane, they wouldn't have been able to reverse the lane back to their enemy, and therefore take a more comfortable Dragon right here. But Expect, at the very least, we'll take a top lane tower for it, so we're going to be about even Steven.
Yeah, that'll actually maintain a small little gold lead.
Oh, they're going for it anyway.
Wow, yeah.
Well, their jungler is a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
And just a little bit, but that gold differential, only about 1,000, thanks. And they're actually just going to give this one up.
Wow. And that's not so good for Zenic Storm.
That was a little bit, wow, that was really surprising, actually. Maybe they were a little bit rattled by the Renekton rotation. But Renekton didn't have his ultimate up, and they should have known that for that fight, but definitely the better vision control going down for Midas. A little bit curious. Morello Namicon actually up first on two. Well, I guess this is a build that we occasionally see, and Dade for one prefers on this champion.
Yep.
Well, you know, if you don't need the MR provided by Chalice early on, it does give you a little bit of sustaining. It's extremely cost-efficient item. So we may just be seeing this because he's playing a lane against Yasuo.
Let's see.
I'm really surprised Zenic Storm didn't play that dragon more aggressively.
Yeah. They seem a little bit flustered right now, honestly. You notice since then they've kind of pulled back. They've become much, much more passive in the last few minutes.
Now, in spite of all those kills, we only see 1,000 gold difference between the 80 carries, thanks to the global gold that Lochte has been able to pick up. And, you know, he's at least dangerous.
OQ comes in. Yeah, has to be very careful with the culling.
He has no support right now. Basically, looks like Ana's given up on the bot lane, and he's now trying to make plays in conjunction with Sun. They've resigned themselves to losing this turret. They're trying to take perhaps a tier 2 in response. Look at that. Ana actually getting some nice deep wards up right there. Pink ward also. They don't know that cow is there.
No, they don't. They do now. There's a pulverize, and there's a headbutt knocking Ren back again. Can he escape? Does have his ultimate available. He's going to use it to get back under turret. Meanwhile, Alvingo catches Nexus along with Vin, and Vin trying to make something out of it, but there we go. Oh, ultimate comes out on the Sun. Ana and Expect. There's a nice pulverize. Ana trying to use that disengagement. Here comes the box for Mink.
Seaver's on the
damage
way.
on the Vin. Yeah, a lot of damage coming in from the Zenic Storm side. There's a double kill though from Expect, turning things around. Ana goes down to Sivir and Expect. Last man standing. Can he get an extra kill on the Ren? I don't think so. Dicing over the wall. And so 2 for 2 in that fight.
Sun is still here, and they're not able to see. There's the death sentence onto Expect.
There's double buffs. This is big for whoever gets it. Expect goes down and it's claimed by Ren. Meanwhile, Sun comes in to try to help out, but he just gives a double kill to Ren.
Yeah, that was not smart. I mean, he really wanted to kill OQ right there and try and collect some of this massive bounty that's on his head, but ultimately unsuccessful, and it's a pretty big giveaway right there. Fortunately for Midas, They have been able to press this tower just a little bit. They only got it down 50%, but they got some much-needed farm onto Lochte. He has been able to catch up and play a little bit more safely down there, finally picking up some boots, some Zerker Greaves.
How does Yasuo's Corner have so much volume after the...
It's all about heavy metal teasing. Like air bands in the 80s. Well, there you go. Walking into a brush right there with Evelyn, and as we see this fight continue, Finn getting pretty low. Nice box actually separating the forces right there, and then following it up with dragging OQ in the fight. OQ intelligently just pushes Kha'Zix out and then immediately turns on the pull of the forces from Midas.
Yeah. And Sun coming in way at the end here, trying to do something, but maybe he can get a kill on Ren.
Unfortunately, the mistake from Zenic Storm right here is that they gave Ren both of these kills, and in fact, they could have had double. Zenic Storm could have ended that fight with double buffs on 2 of their players instead of just 1.
Double buffs on Sivir would have been amazing.
Yeah, there was really no point for Ren to take both of those, and that's a little bit of a miscommunication right there.
All right, well, pink board getting cleared out as Xenics goes for some deep boards of themselves, or of their own.
Oh, look at this. There's the last whisper. You know, if you're ahead on Sivir and you just want to continue to take objectives, this is how you do it. You're able to chunk people so efficiently off of turret with Boomerang Blade. You also, at this stage, should be considering getting some more blue pots onto Sivir just so she can have that sustain while she sees the turret.
Oh, boy. Oh, Sun, what are you doing? There's the flash over the wall. Trying to get away. He's going to try to recall an award, I guess. We'll see. Oh, meanwhile, mid lane, Finn gets a big caught. Nexus and Anna coming in. Nexus trying to claim that kill. He has to turn around. Here's the counter engage from Zenic Storm. Ren comes from the top. Double kill already from OQ. And Anna's going to make that 3 kills in total for Zenic Storm. Trying to chase. Oh, they nearly caught Lacti, but not quite.
Well, now Zenic Storm
has
a lead, and they're going to be doing this Baron after killing 3 people. Before that, Midas actually had an advantage due to the global gold that they were taking, but I think they actually just panicked right there due to how fed this Sivir is.
No culling. You see still Baron passive. Baron's doing a lot of damage. Finn in trouble. Expect comes in to try to claim something. Oh, this is insane. Expect gets Elvingo. People are coming back alive again. A double kill. Expect just taking apart the whole team before finally going down to OQ. Jeez.
Not quite able to finish OQ. He still wants, everybody's really trying hard for that shutdown gold, but nobody's able to take it. And Sun not going to be able to do much to this very tanky Shyvana right now. Lochte coming back. This is such, spell shield blocking the Kha'Zix W. There's the culling. Not going to be enough. Wow, that is such risky play.
Yeah. That Baron did not work out at all for Zenic Storm, and that's going to give a possible opportunity to Midas5, but I feel like we're seeing the same thing in reverse now.
This is a very weird game, though.
Yeah, it is. Okay, they back off. It's a very weird game. So now
both teams really just getting over-eager right here. They're not playing patiently. They're both panicking a bit. And so they're making a lot of mistakes.
It's not exactly a Baron dance, it's more of a Baron mosh pit at this point.
Nobody's really tanky enough to take this either, especially after some of these fights where everybody just gets hit.
Yeah. Ren takes the turret, Kha'Zix takes the dragon. And will they engage on this? OQ thinking about using that ultimate, we'll see. It's doing damage to Anna. And that's a lot of damage onto Anna. Anna in big trouble, there's a kill. They just chase him down. They pop the ultimate now. There's the ult from Evelyn coming in as well. They catch Nexus with that one. A little bit of knock-up. Last breath tries to get back to the carry. Like you said, everybody wanted to kill OQ, but there's the barrier, and OQ grabs another kill. Expect he wants to try his hand, and he finally gets it, but at what cost?
A tier 2 turret, probably.
Yeah, and 3 more kills in favor of Zenic Storm.
They're not going for the tier 2 turret. Instead, they decided to turn on the red buff right there. That was not a good call either. They don't have any other objectives. Well, they could take mid perhaps, but that tier 2 is so valuable. In fact, they probably could have taken tier 2, then swung red, then swung mid, and gotten it all. They're not even going to get mid.
Crazy.
This is a very strange combination of both too aggressive and too passive play, like minute to minute.
I think we're seeing 2 teams under a lot of pressure right now. It's been a long night for these guys, and Not to mention they're all nervous. And this game, you know, does decide a spot in Champions Spring. And even though you're not knocked out completely if you lose this game, it's still a game you feel a big need to win, obviously.
Well, OQ is still massively fed. I mean, basically his lead in lane has actually earned him and his team just way more kills. Because they were behind, even though he just absolutely annihilated the laning phase. But the reason they actually got ahead was because everybody kept diving for OQ, and it picked up more and more and more kills, which then translated into objectives, which means that we now have an 800 gold lead. Now, in this situation, though, if you're Midas, you know, you're down 8 kills. You may think you're way more down than you actually are, considering you're also a tower down at this point, but it's those dragons that are really, really keeping them in this game. And they just may not be aware of that fact, and they're playing like they're more behind than they are in reality.
They definitely were scared. There's a calling to put Zenic Storm off of the turret, and it will work for now, but the siege coming back immediately.
And this is where, as a professional team, you really want to do a position-by-position check. You know, players need to look at their lane opponent and say, you know, their position on the other team, and tell if you should be able to calculate very quickly, player by player, how much gold you have or your relative power level in items. And if you do that, if you have these moments in the game, you can actually do it quite well and realize that you're not that far behind.
And Nexus getting chased around by Ren. I think it's going to work out too well. Oh, here comes
OQ.
Sun over the top. Yeah, oh, that is OQ, yeah. There we go. Last breath, trying to do some damage to Shyvana. Good luck, man. And meanwhile, another kill in mid lane. Sun goes down.
I really think the Vi pick was much better in this game.
It seems like a win. I agree. The jungle Kazakhs, you know, we just really seldom see it be very effective.
If you use it well, we saw CJ Blaze use it extremely well.
Oh, it can be
in
Masters.
Masters.
I just feel like in general.
Yeah, you have to get that lead, otherwise it just doesn't work. And the invisible worm, culling, where is it?
Deadliest. I know. Are we going to see Baron sold by Clone? We'll see. There's the box. Some people. Anna comes in. Dragon or Baron still doing damage here. Expect backing off. Nexus still not up. It is a 5v4. Goodbye, Lacti. And actually, Alvingo chasing down Anna. No, the Baron more important. They change their minds. They turn around. Baron, who knows what health he's at? We can't see him. Expect coming in. He caused a lot of problems for Zenic Storm when they tried to take Baron last time.
They just need to delay, and they've done enough, even though they don't have that Renekton ultimate anymore. So this is the game of failed Barons.
I guess so.
Is there going to be a counter Baron here? Come on. Come on, Midas. You know you want to try. Oh, no. That's sad. They wouldn't have gotten it. But it would be keeping it in pattern with this constant back and forth this game.
It certainly would be. And there's the mid lane turret, so a turret lead now for Midas Fio.
Still only that 800 gold deficit. Dragon up in a minute and a half. Everybody recalling. If they can take more control over it right now, they'll be in a much better position. And finally, Nexus also has his Infinity Edge, so in spite of his 1-in-5 score, he is going to be outputting a significant amount of damage. He's a pretty huge threat right now. Yasuo, of course, one of those champions we said earlier only needs 2 items to really be effective, to really get rolling.
Pretty much.
Wow, this Sivir is just immensely far ahead. OQ with Bloodthirster, Static Shiv, Last Whisper, and another BF sword in 26 minutes.
OQ is basically doing on Sivir what Lacti did on Draven last game. 2 Randuins out now for Zenic Storm. They really don't want to have an issue with Lacti, Nexus.
It's very interesting. Nexus. Looks like he's got that blink wall already way up there.
Oh, weird.
Anyway. Not a lot going on right now. Finally getting a pink ward onto the Baron pit.
Yep. Ren has to make a run for it. And there's Inky's coming in. They pull in Anna. OQ waiting for an opportunity to do some damage. He's already doing a little bit. There's the culling through the middle of everything here. And Midas trying to get something done. Alvingo gets a kill rather. Anna Goes out and OQ in big trouble. Oh, they managed to take out Expect just in nick of time. Sun goes down, double kill for Vin, a triple kill for Alvingo. And as he dies,
he gets killed by Caster Minions and the Spirit of the Elder Lizard proc. And that's a ace right there for Zenic Storm.
Do they have enough help with these minions to do this turret? It looks like they do.
That's going to be is the ultimate bait in this game. All he does is pop Sivir ult and kite while everybody tries to dive him. And
he's got the double,
the rest of
11.
Yeah, that's impressive. And everybody else, but it's just the overemphasis right now on this Sivir is really what's sinking Midas.
I'm surprised they're not grabbing Dragon on their way out, but I suppose if at that point you may be giving your opponents a little bit too much time to get back across the map.
There's a danger of them taking Baron right there because they don't have vision control over the Baron. Let's take a look at that fight again. So coming in here, he gets some good damage onto Anna early before he can pop his ult right there with the Death Sentence. And Ink goes down fairly quickly, but OQ just able to kite this one out and Expect not doing much right now in this fight. Vin and Ren turn around to help out OQ with that final kill, and Alvingo just got too much burst damage down right at the start.
No, minions,
Midas is doing Baron right now, and they got it.
Oh, wow, they did. Here we go, two-man pulverize. Alvingo coming in with some damage. Save over the top. Tries to do something. Sun, rather. And Ink in the back lines. Black T untouched just yet. Nexus grabs the kill. A double kill for him. A huge last breath. And Ren has to back off. 4 kills. And what a turnaround. 2 for 4. Now, can they make anything out of it?
Yeah, that's the thing is you rush Baron immediately afterwards. They weren't ready for it. They're going to go ahead and take this Dragon as well, and they'll actually get a lead off of this, it looks like. They're streaking back down to stop these super minions from getting into their base. So Midas immediately back into the game, but you can see the damage from Yasuo with only those 2 items. Well, that was
pretty insane.
I'd love to see the setup from that again. Let's check it out. So they just rushed to Baron. Remember, they had that ping ward on there from earlier. So there's just no jungler here to try and steal it away with the smite yet. That's a great zone from Alistar. And the culling trying a little more. And that was a very poor Gragas ultimate. Didn't do a whole lot to disrupt the team. And finally, Nexus just coming in here. And there's not enough focus onto this Yasuo. He got a lot of auto attacks off with an Infinity Edge and crit.
I guess so, yeah.
Now that engage was really poorly timed from Zenic Storm. They didn't arrive at the same time. Their ultimates were not used in an efficient manner.
Well, this game definitely not the cleanest one we've ever seen.
Well, that would be a massive understatement.
Yep. It's one of those games where at some point, once we get far enough in and the death timers get high enough, a fight like that will end the game.
Maybe. This game is ridiculously bloody. There are 46 kills in 30 minutes into this game. It's rare that we see. I mean, this is a Zenic Storm game, though, right? It's like you can change your entire roster, but there's still going to be 50 kills in 30 minutes.
Take the players out of Zenic Storm, but you can't take the storm out of the players.
You can't take the bloodthirstiness out of Zenic Storm.
That's right. That's right. The legacy of Storm goes on.
Many people may not know that. That's why they're called Zenic Storm, is Yellow, the very famous StarCraft 1 player known as the Stormzer, known nickname, used to be their coach.
That's right. Yeah, he's moved on to other things since then, like being a famous celebrity, but for a while, yeah, he was a coach for a while.
Taking a look at our gold totals right there. Sivir 3K up. Very understandable. Looks like she's going to be going for a GA as her next item to make sure that she can carry this game till the bitter end.
Yep. I've got a feeling it's going to be a little while before that happens.
Right now, Midas needs to make sure they have vision control. That Kha'Zix need to be used. Kha'Zix Yasuo, they've got so much damage coming out. Unfortunately for them, it's all physical, so these double Randuin's Omens and the Thornmail that's actually been picked up by this Evelynn. What kind of Evelynn build is this?
No kidding, Randuin's Thornmail, all right.
Well, Randuin's is pretty common on Evelynn right now.
Okay.
Just because she needs that extra tankiness and she can flank very easily and therefore get a big Randuin's hit off onto the back line. But the Thornmail afterwards, that's pretty funny and specific to this game where you have all the damage sources except for effectively Dominus on Renekton dealing physical damage.
Pretty crazy. This one still could go either way. Gold dead even right now.
Well, without mixed damage and just the fact that Shyvana will outscale Renekton, this Sivir is massively fed, and that this Alistar's disruption, it all comes down to whether or not Midas can actually make an efficient pick right here. They've got the burst to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But they have to catch somebody out. Or they have to get like a 4-man Yasuo ult. That could also happen.
There's so much burst coming out of Midas Fio.
Yep, but the problem is, again, it's all physical, so it's easy for Zenic Storm to itemize against, and they've already done that very efficiently.
Sure enough.
Gotta get the pick. But without Baron up, there's no objective to really create a pick around.
And I've got a feeling that Zenic Storm is going to be very careful about when they split up their group. Probably just choosing not to do it very often.
Well, that didn't do it, right? Nope.
Wind wall.
It was a protective wind wall. Still trying.
Minions are pretty much all dead, so that means that Zenic Storm's going to try and maybe fake some rotations.
I'm surprised it's been like 3 minutes without a kill, though. That's been the longest this game, that's for sure. There's the talisman up right now for Alistar. They could engage. Nope, gonna rush down mid instead. Red coming in from the flank. This would be really good.
Oh yeah, they could catch Ren here. Ren a little bit of trouble here. Zane coming back. Ults over the top. Alvingo looking for an opportunity. It's a nice explosive cast. OQ still in great shape, actually, nearly untouched. Tries to chase down Sun. 2 kills already for Zenic Storm. There's a decent pulverize, but it's too little too late. Expect on the run. That's going to be another kill, probably for Vin. We'll see if Alvingo can pick it up. Meanwhile, the rest of Midas disperses. Yeah, there's a kill for Alvingo. And that is going to be an inhibitor, and that could actually be the game.
Yeah, it might be that Baron is up in 1 minute, so they may want to pull back just a little bit and set up for that early on after the inhibitor. So they don't suffer the same fate. But that was exactly what Zenic Storm needed. I mean, you get the flank in there. You just have to force the 5v5 because you know you're going to win just based on your itemization right now. They're going for it. Oh, they got Sun.
Yeah. Yep, Sun. Alvingo's very low, though. I think they should back off. This is way too dangerous. Oh, they're still going for it. They get 1 Nexus turret. But look at that. OQ so low. Nearly kills Sun.
Barrier for the Void Spikes. Yeah, very low indeed. And there's a huge minion wave pushing up in the top lane. And this opens them up to another counter Baron, by the way.
That's the thing is, they could have just taken the inhibitor and turned to Baron.
They do not have time to recall and actually defend this Baron. So this is basically a free Baron right now for Midas if they want it.
We'll see if they take it.
Oh, they can go for it.
Yep.
They should be going for it. They should just be bolting straight to this thing right
looks
now.
like that's
OQ, he hasn't recalled yet. He's very low. If he's not going to be in the fight, here he comes. Home guard boots. He's not going to make it in time. No way. They can do this way too fast with Kha'Zix.
We've got Alvingo here. If anyone can steal Baron, he certainly can. Throwing those barrels in. Is he ready? Oh, doesn't quite get the steal.
Lucian got it, actually.
Yeah, he did. Now a little bit of trouble. Anna may go down, but it's not so bad. Yeah, they have to back off.
Taking that Nexus turret was a horrible call for Zenic Storm. Well, it's exciting, though. It's an exciting game full of blood and poor objective control.
Yep, poor decision making.
You know, you'd think they would have learned after the first time.
Yeah, no kidding.
But no, the identical mistake once again. They're just doing everything in their power to keep Midas in this game. And Midas actually has a lead right now. 17 to 32 kills, but Midas has taken 2 Barons, most of the dragons in this game, and they have a lead somehow, some way.
It's so crazy because they're still down 2 turrets as well. Insane. And if you look at the CS, not a big difference. In fact, top lane quite a bit lower. I suppose it evens up mid. So, what I said was true. CS, not a big difference. So,
oh boy.
Mostly objective build right there. Despite having half the kills with Zenic Storm. And so, a game like that, this is going to be frustrating for Zenic Storm as well, because they're going to feel like they should be farther ahead than they are because of the amount of kills they have. But the amount of turrets they have, but they haven't been quite careful.
they're still pretty far ahead, and the reason why is because if you think about the gold totals, even though they are, well, they're now dead even, but it's just the efficiency of items. If your defensive items only have to be for physical damage, they're just much more efficient, so you don't need as much gold to prevent damage, and that's just fantastic. So they're still in the lead, and they should still be able to close this. They got a nice flank last time. They can do it again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, they're very scared of the flank right now. Midas.
Should be. Meanwhile,
big minion wave at top.
He's looking good pressure-wise for Midas Fio. Oh, man. If they would have grabbed Lactu, would have been all over.
Really risky right there. But they'll get the tier 2 turret anyway.
And they're probably going to get the tier 2 in top as well.
Wow, Zenic Storm really putting the fear, or really afraid rather.
Yeah.
This might seem they pop Ren out. Ren has ult up though, so it's not really going to be a big issue. He's also taking no damage.
Yeah, Nexus can't really do much against him right now. They managed to save the turret for the moment anyway.
Barrel roll disappears into the wind wall.
Yep.
Just sends the barrels to the next dimension, I guess.
Yep. All right, there goes the turret. Turret's evened up now by Midas Fio.
What's Finn doing?
Finn is on the hunt.
I guess so. Well, Kha'Zix says recall. Oh, if they see Kha'Zix bot lane, they know he's there. They're looking. Oh, they don't. That was real close. Yeah, they tried to engage as soon as they saw Kha'Zix in the bot lane trying to clear that one out. Instead, they'll go recall. Nothing to take right now, and this game continues to grind on.
Yeah. Well, 14, 2, and 15 for OQ. The team's still not able to close it out.
Now, Nexus has a GA now, and so does Sun.
Oh, man.
So I guess they're just trying to combat their... I mean...
Welcome to early season 3.
Or late season 2, really.
Yeah. This looks like this kind of looks like Champions Spring last year, you know.
Well, I agree with the GA and Kha'Zix in this situation. I mean, if you're gonna die early, by the time you res, maybe you can get some resets on. He is doing a lot of damage.
Yep. Oh, there's engagement. Nice last breath. Oh, that's huge! Huge for Midas Fio. Sun coming in with a ton of damage as well. OQ immediately exhausted. Not a big factor in the fight. Now doing some damage, but it's not enough. And Midas Fio, Baron powered, absolutely raffle stops Zenic Storm, 1 for 5, what an ace, and that is gonna be it, man. I don't know, they have to burn through an inhibitor turret and an inhibitor, but I think they can
tank it out.
I
think
think
quite easy for them to do it.
Yeah. What a huge wombo combo at the end there, though.
Well,
that was just
that's
all
what
Nexus,
I said.
That was a one-man wombo combo, man.
That's what I said, though. Is like the way they could win is to get a 4-man Yasuo ult.
They sure did.
That's what happened.
Yep. Wow, and of course the Midas Fio fans in the audience going kind of crazy. Can't blame them. There goes the section Nexus turret. Then Midas Fio, complete newcomer on the scene, is going to Champions Spring.
Yeah, that's, wow, a big turnaround and a big win right there, but they grounded out till they had a very high damage Yasuo, and they set that up beautifully. They reacted to the flank engage by all-inning the front line and catching too many members grouped up right there. Let's take a look at, I hope we get to see that on screen again really quick here. Oh, it was only a 3-man Yasuo ult.
Only a 3-man, but it was huge. You guys, I'm sure you heard that cheer. There's not a lot of fans that have stayed